Hi, so story time because I noticed that I got really good reactions from the last story I shared. Today, my story will be personal and it's going to be about breaking ungodly patterns in family. I personally look for ungodly pattern in my family so I can be very intentional in breaking out of it, setting new godly standard in that area where other women missed it in my family. Like, I'm very intentional. I look for something, I'm like, this does not make sense. It shouldn't be like this. I will break out of it. I will not follow your footsteps. I'm very intentional about it, and I've made a lot of decisions based on that. Even when it wasn't comfortable, I just make sure I pray over it, of course, and I keep to my word. One of those standards that I have prayed over, even if I don't currently live in that reality, by God's grace, I will, is correcting a child by abusing that child. Growing up, my mom used to beat me a lot. I will ask her, are you sure I wasn't abducted? Like, are you my mom? For real, let's be honest. Because tell me why you are beating me 12 a.m., 1 a.m., because you saw me with a guy standing, talking in public during the day. Like, you will literally be mad at me and beat me up for something that happened that I probably even forgot. And she wouldn't beat me like she was my mom. She would beat me like I committed a crime. Now, before my mom started to beat me, my grandma used to beat me a lot too. So I realized my mom learned that from my grandma because that was how she was corrected. She thought it was okay to correct me like that. Grandma was my guardian before my grandma passed, and I started to live with my mom. And I realized this is a pattern. Okay, this generation of women, probably that was how my grandma was raised too. Most African mothers, where they beat their child or their children to correct them. I'm not going to do that to my kids. I feel like it's okay to whoop your child. Like, whoop their ass a little bit. Because some kids can be really... yeah, I get it. Kids can be annoying. As much as they're cute and have little beautiful reasons why you want to have them, they can be annoying. I practically raised my younger siblings, so I know how annoying they can be. But don't beat them to a point where if you were in Europe, you will be in jail. That's how they used to beat us in Africa. Something that can literally send you to prison here in Europe. I used to tell my mom when I grew up, you're lucky when I was growing up, you were not in Europe. I would have called the cops on you. And I would have made sure you were jailed, right? Because my mom would beat me too much. And it got to a point where I started being stubborn. I would do the thing and be like, after all, you're going to beat me. One of the things I used to do and just wait for her to beat me was when I was going to movie practice. So as a teenager, I used to love movies. So I go to a movie production practice. I think that movie production, the name is Larry Dex Movie Production. This story is over 15 years. I still remember that name. Larry Dex Movie Production. I remember. It was like almost an hour away from my house. Almost more than an hour walk away from the house. So my mother would be afraid because I have to cross different, busy roads to get to that place. She didn't want me to be an actress, first of all. She said that Nollywood was corrupt. I now understand why she said that, and I believe her completely. But then I wanted to be an actress. That's it. So she will beat me because I went to practice. And I was afraid. One day I told the producer to come to the house and beg my mom so that she will allow me. My mom said no. She will lock me in the house. She'll take the key because mostly the days I have to go to practice, and I will jump the window. I'll go. When I come back, she'll beat me. The next week I'll go again. I'll say, Shebi, I'll go. when I come, you shall beat me, everybody will rest. I was doing that because movie was something I had passion for, so I didn't care about the beating. I feel like if she had corrected me with love, if she had told me in a way that I would understand the dangers of what she was trying to avoid, I would have taken her more seriously. That is why, personally, instead of beating my child to an extent where they question if they are actually my child, I will correct them. I will tell them why. So imagine I have a teenage daughter like I was, 16, 15 years old, that doesn't listen. Instead of beating her for having a boyfriend, I will tell her there is herpes, there is HIV, there is that, and I'll read, or make sure she reads, or make sure he or she reads the dangers of having all these diseases. I won't even be the one to tell her to not have a boyfriend. She will be too terrified to. She will literally be too afraid to. If you read the thing herpes can do, herpes is not curable. So imagine calling my daughter and be like, if you kiss a boy, you're going to get this disease that's not curable. She won't even dare. She will be too afraid to. So you see, that's me looking for patterns and not repeating them with me, with my life, with my own kids, because that's how you break out of generational ungodly patterns, I also noticed one thing. Well, yeah, there are a lot of them I don't want to discuss. Even if I want to talk about personal stories, there are just some things I wouldn't share because it's like personal. So yeah, I'll keep that to myself. But yeah, my point is we should look for ungodly patterns in our families and be very intentional, like by God's grace, to break out of it. And then set a new godly standard. The new godly standard I'm currently setting right now is not just for my future children, it's also for my siblings. I am their elder sister, and there are things they can never see me do. Even if I would do them, not in their presence. I have the most well-behaved younger siblings. Like, I'm not even capping. My younger siblings are so well-behaved. Who you want to learn from? Who won't teach you? You can't say, oh, I did this because he started this. For where? Where you won't see them. Even if they are misbehaving on the phone, like, even if I'm not there and I call them like this, everybody they behave.